स्पॉटलाइट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट अमीता। Join me weekly as I talk to inspiring guests who will share their success stories. When we move to a new country, we face many challenges in re-establishing our identity. To face these challenges and to emerge as successful is no ordinary feat. Today we'll be talking to one such trailblazer. Hers is an inspiring immigrant success story. A journalist by profession and the well-deserved recipient of multiple prestigious awards, she's the president of imageBuilderZ, one of Canada's leading public relations and communications agency. It's my honor to welcome to our show Ms. Renu Mehta. Renu, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
I'm so glad that you're here with us so you can share your story because you have helped so many people, get into the spotlight. But I'm glad we are putting the spotlight on you today because you have so much to inspire us with. सबसे पहले जानना चाहेंगे कुछ आपके बारे में, your upbringing, your education.
Yeah, well, I'm actually from India, New Delhi. I was born and brought up in New Delhi. Then we went to the Middle East after I got married. And after the Middle East, we came to Canada. And it was a big change. When we came in 95, there was, people were being laid off. There were not many job opportunities. And so I decided to go back to college. And I did a 2-year program in broadcast journalism. So in a way, Canada brought all my dreams come true because I was the oldest student in the class. The rest of the people were all, 18, 19, or early 20s. And here I was much older. But I've always wanted to be in television. I had always wanted to be a journalist at that time. And I did this 2-year program, after which I was hired by Chum Radio. And as you know, at that time, Chum owned CP24. So within a week, I was doing live traffic on CP24.
Wow, love it. You're such an inspiration, shining example. Jaise aapne kaha, a lot of people, shy away. Oh, I'm too mature now. I don't want to go back to school. But you're a shining example. You persevered and you took it in stride and see where you are today. What was the experience like working with, actually Chum, radio, but you've done even the CP24 and you have also done in-print journalism.
While I was in college, I went to Seneca to do broadcast journalism. I thought, what is the good? We didn't know anybody when we came to Canada. So I decided to volunteer. So I spent thousands of hours of volunteer work. First, we used to, Mayor Mel Lastman was the mayor of North York at that time. Mm-hmm. So we would, I volunteered for Rogers. We used to cover his council meetings, which were long and extended. So I laid the cables, I did camera work, I learned how to do the timing, Wow. So all those things, and then they gave me an opportunity, I got an opportunity from them to write some news shows. It was called The New City. And they were amalgamating the 6 cities. At that time, it was like Toronto, Scarborough, North York were separate cities, after which they came into one. So I wrote some shows for them, how when it came together as a new city, how that would be perceived and what are the challenges they would face. So we did voting procedures, we did health issues, we did, that show was on health, education, how the cities would merge and do that,
Amazing. So you took your education, there was the education in broadcast journalism, but beyond that, you ventured hands-on and you just grabbed those opportunities that were given to you without question, which helped you broaden your horizons. And it sounds like you didn't grow yourself, but you also had a hand in making changes in our society. That's amazing. How do you take up the challenges? Like a lot of people get disheartened when they come across these challenges. Like we were talking about, you're coming to a new country, and like you said, you came at a time when people were being laid off. But a lot of people say, okay, now what do I do? This is so scary. But you looked beyond that. So how did that happen? Was there support from your husband, or did you do it on your own?
See, when you come to a new country, you're starting a new life because you have to start from scratch. All your past is actually experience is not really, it is relevant, but here they ask for Canadian experience. And how do you establish your network? How do you establish yourself as your identity from the ground upwards? So, of course, your family has to be there. My husband and kids were very supportive. My husband basically is the backbone of what I am today because he looked after the kids. When I worked weekends and evenings at JUM. So we didn't have a social life for 4 years because I had to sleep early. I had to work from 4:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. shift in the morning. And then I also volunteered for Omni Television. And you know, when you volunteer for them, they start giving you assignments. They started giving me, we did special sections on the Sikh community, 300 years of Sikh history, or we did stories on South Asian Newsweek, or we did a Diwali special. So then I got paid here and there, and that's how I started when I was in school. And then I got the job with JUM Radio. And then after that, Omni, because I had volunteered so much, they offered me my own show on Omni Television. I did 26 episodes of a science show in Punjabi.
Wow. Wow.
And which I hosted, packaged, put together for them. So that was a wonderful experience, I think, with the Omni Television. And after that, I went to print.
Awesome.
Media.
Awesome. Like I love the positivity in you. Like you grab every opportunity, no matter how big, how small. But eventually it gets you somewhere, and that's what your story is all about. They usually say behind every successful man there's a woman. In this case, it almost sounds like behind this successful woman there was a man. There was the passion from within, the hard work, the perseverance, and you're here today because of all that put together. We want to find out more and also about image builders, लेकिन उससे पहले लेते एक छोटा सा ब्रेक. Spotlight में फिर से आपका स्वागत है. It's very inspiring to talk to Miss Renu Mehta. She was in fact awarded an award for the top 20 journeys in terms of immigrant success stories by TRIAC. She's also the recipient of the 2015 Women's Hero Award in Excellence for Business by ICACI. And she's also the recipient of the 2016 award by the Women's Achievers Canada. Wow. Very well-deserved awards, I must say, Renu, because we are hearing all the inspiration, behind your success. So as we were talking, you went from educating yourself, volunteering, entered into journalism, whether it be live that we talked about on CP24, whether it be on JUM Radio, whether it be behind the scenes with Rogers, but we also want to know about your in-print experience.
Yeah. While I was with Omni Television, I was offered a position by the Indian Express team, North American edition, to be the consulting editor for them. And I decided to go to print because my son was about 11 or 12, and I thought, it'll give me some time to be at home also, spend some time. And I could work from home. So I became the consulting editor. I was for Indian Express. They added Divya Bhaskar also. Indian Express is one of India's leading dailies. Yeah. But I did the Canada edition for many, many years. We would strategically place articles, write articles, which were then, the paper was then set in India at that time. Wow. And distributed here.
Wow, wow. Like as the story unfolds, it's more and more we get to know about you. I also hear that there was somebody from India who came looking to you in terms of consulting.
Yes, there was a new restaurant being launched here at that time called Nirvana, which is still in Mississauga. One of the partners was Indian, and they sourced me from India, and I don't know how I was referred and said, would you like to do PR for us? Now, as a journalist, you understand very well how the PR mindset works because we know exactly how we would like to be pitched a story. We get so many news releases as an as an editor or as a writer, and then how do you choose which story to write for that week? What is important? So as I really knew how to pitch to the journalists, and a lot of them were my friends. So I did this PR for about 6 months. I left journalism and stepped into PR, started my own company called imageBuilderZ.
There we go.
And under the restaurant, we promoted the restaurant as an art gallery, where we sort of compared food to art, because they had this restaurant is really lovely. They had put all these artworks on the walls and all that. It was like it was promoted as an art gallery, and they also we also positioned fashion. So as part of this assignment, I also did a fashion show by Neeta Lula, who dressed Aishwarya Rai, and she brought the original costumes of Devdas at that time, which our models wore as well. And it was the first time that a fashion designer of that stature came to Canada to showcase her clothes.
Amazing. Honestly, Renu, it takes somebody like you who is so passionate, who has such a creative mind to do something like that. From journalism to PR, and not just status quo. You have changed PR in a certain way because you have actually promoted the culture. You took a simple PR assignment and took it to a different level. Yeah. So they chose the right person and the right firm to approach.
PR is very important because PR, it's very important when you're doing a certain project or for businesses to create a buzz, create awareness. It's good to do the best possible work, but how do you raise that awareness in people's minds? That's through PR. So we create strategic communications campaigns for people, projects, for organizations and events. Like a recent event we did was the Anoki Awards campaign, for which we got an unprecedented $126 million in dollar value. Yes. In impressions.
Not every firm can do that, so that's what's special about imageBuilderZ. And I've witnessed myself events that I have been to that you have been doing PR for, and it's not as Renu isn't either. It's extraordinary the way you.
So I have to correct it. It's 1.3 billion.
1.3 billion.
Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Regardless, the number is amazing, but it's just the sheer fact that imageBuilderZ is out of the ordinary because you think outside the box.
Yeah, and we got them and our clients for this project an interview on CBC, a 13.5-minute radio interview, which translated into 1.3 million.
So that's where the numbers are from.
Yeah.
But so where can our viewers find out more information? Like, how can we approach imageBuilderZ?
So we have a website. It's called www.imageBuilderZ.com, and imageBuilderZ is spelled with a Z at the end. So it's imageBuilderZ.com, or anybody can call me. Our number's on the website, or email us, and we will take your project to the next level.
Exactly, I've seen it. Like I said, they do amazing with all the events. So from journalism to PR, but behind all this, there's all the volunteer hours that you have put in that helped you also get to where you are. So we want to talk more about that. लेकिन उससे पहले लेते एक छोटा सा break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to the inspirational Renu Mehta. She is the recipient of the prestigious Queen's Jubilee Award. And I know why, Renu, because as we already heard, volunteering has been a big part of your journey. You have sat on many boards in the past and also on boards at present. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so I was on the board, I have served on the board of the Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce, EPROC, then the Equity Council of York Region, and now more recently I'm on the board of the Markham Arts Council. I think it's very important to do volunteer work. When I was with the ICCC, Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce, I think it's a great opportunity to learn about different things, connect with different people. I was the head of the business programming and also the head of communications 1 year. And we used to bring out a magazine, which I brought out. We did and that's where practically my experience also came in handy, because I used to do the entire communications campaign. We also would meet with different ministers and give them our feedback. Like we met the immigration minister and gave them our feedback on what kind of problems do the immigrants have. So it's a great learning opportunity. It's a great opportunity to network with the other side and find out what the government of Canada wants, or with our community, you know. So and that was wonderful. I'm with the Markham Arts Council now. We are doing our second fundraising gala on November 4th, and we are raising funds to support the arts and the arts organizations in Markham. So that's very interesting, because the artists do such creative work, and if in some small way we can work on these boards, raise funds and help out in any small or big cause, it really elevates our own status as well as a person. Right?
Amazing, yeah, but not every, I would call you like, somebody who is successful in mainstream, senior executive level. Not everybody decides to volunteer their time, but you are doing it and it's making a difference.
It always comes back to you.
Sorry, I'm just going to take a small break. My nose is running, sorry. I heard what you said, it always comes back to you. Sorry, Maria, we'll have to start with that again, because my nose, I don't want it to.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to remind, so I was just asking that not every senior executive decides to volunteer.
Yeah.
And you said
it always comes back.
Okay, so we'll start
I can
from
repeat
there.
That, huh?
Yeah. Okay, Maria, sorry. Okay.
Helping others is very important, and it always comes back to you. I remember, I used to have people calling me when I was on the board of the Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce, who were new immigrants, and they would call and ask me, "Can you help me? And can you help me? I need to start find my first job here. What should I do? What should I look for? How do I meet people?" So I remember I went and met this girl. It was almost 10 years ago, and then you just help them and you tell them what your story is and what your challenges they will face, and then you come back and you forget about it. But I find that all the people I've helped in some way or the other have come back to me and offered me referrals, or given me referrals for for PR campains, because they feel I helped them at a time when they need it. And sometimes I don't even remember who you mentored, who I've mentored, who I've helped. So as I said, it always comes back to you. So it's very important to give back to the community. And because we ourselves, as immigrants, when we came, we didn't know anybody. It was a very lonely time, and we've all faced challenges, settling down in the country, finding that first job. And what better way to give back to this wonderful country than to help others?
Very well said. It does really pay to pay it forward. I mean, and it's like you were saying, what goes around comes around. I mean, it also takes somebody as courageous and thoughtful as yourself to give without expectations. And also the fact, what I hear is you believe in rather than an instant gratification, it's the delayed gratification. And
I don't think you actually think about anything when you are trying to help somebody. It's just strange, because I never thought about it, and it's like the law of karma. I think it comes back to you. At least it's been like that in my case, and I'm sure in other people. So always I believe in helping people. I believe in volunteering. I believe in if I can be of any assistance to anybody, I would be happy to do that. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you've really carved out a niche for yourself, by finding that passion from within, getting the support from family, and then deciding to help others, So now I have to ask you, if I digress for a bit, I mean, you do a lot for others. Do you get any time for yourself? We heard about you having a family. Do you have time to spend with family? Any other interests, hobbies?
I love watching films. I love traveling. I love reading. But films is also like storytelling. So it's I always like to attend the Toronto International Film Festival. I mean, it's amazing to see the stories that are carved out, and it tells you. And a lot of them are documentaries which come out. So films also teach you a lot about life, about people, and about opportunities and how people have struggled and come up. So I like traveling. Traveling broadens your horizons. And other than that, I think volunteering is a very important thing to do, right?
Yeah, very well said, and thank you for giving us that tip. And now when there's a challenge, don't take it as a challenge. As we heard Renu today, take it up in stride, work hard, persist, and give back to the community, because it eventually will become your success story.
Thank you, well said.
Thank you so much, Renu, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to us today. And we look forward to more from you as an individual and also from imageBuilderZ.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. तो ये थे मिस रेनू मेहता, जिन्होंने हमें एहसास दिलाया है कि सक्सेस इज़ पॉसिबल इफ़ वी हैव अ पैशन, इफ़ वी वर्क हार्ड, इफ़ वी persist, and if we give back to the community. Well, that's a wrap for this week's show. Thank you for watching us. Continue to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and write to me at spotlight@ethnicchannels.com. Thank you to Mr. Dinesh Ramsey for sponsoring my wardrobe. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, encouraging you to create your own spotlight.